Today I want to discuss what is going to be next for FS25. Are we going to try to hurry up and move on to the next version of Farming Simulator? And what exactly do we want to see added to FS25 now, or maybe future versions of Farming Simulator? Stick around and we're going to discuss it here. We're going to get through it all. Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to discuss a little bit, kind of like a part 2 to our FS22 versus 25 debate. And we've had a lot of comments and a lot of discussion about it. But what I wanted to kind of go into more detail about is what's next. I mean, what are we going to be looking at? What are we hoping to see? Like not as mods, but I'm talking about it just in game when the base game's released. Or what are we going to add next to this game? What's going to improve it? Because I really feel like that, FS25 may have hurt, the Farming Simulator series. Because a lot of people have still gone back to 22 and have not touched 25 yet. There's a lot. I see it every day. And I'm not really sure at this point why. 25 is 100% worth it. The improvements that they've made are fantastic. As far as what I really wanted to talk about was like what's going to be next. I mean, I really think that some of the things that they add to this game that's really going to just, I don't think that they need to come out with another version. First of all, I don't think we need an FS27 or 28 or whatever you want to call it. I really just don't think we need that. There are plenty of games out there where they just keep updating the game, that a lot of people are still playing. Now, I mean, you could release one, but I don't think we need one every 3 years. Because in my opinion, I just don't think they're adding that much more to the game that's going to cause people to switch. Just like from 22 to 25, 19 to 22, there's still a ton of people that play 19. And a lot of people are saying that 19 is the epitome of the series, or whatever. I think one thing that would really change this game is, I've seen it in some of the mods, and I really think they should look at just implementing it into the game. And that, number one, would be the animal mod, where you have to have males present. Of course, they don't look like males because they're not going to 3D model dongs on animals just so you can say, oh, that's the dude. But there's more to it than just that. If you've looked at that mod, which we're going to implement on Monday, on this particular map, is that it makes running the cattle a little bit more realistic and maybe a little harder, because literally right now all you do is just throw the food in there and you're done. You really don't have to do much, but this is going to give each individual animal a name, a birth, a birthplace. They can even get sick, so forth. But I think we need more realism with our animals. They've introduced more animals this time around, which was like the water buffalo. And I'm not asking for more animals. I'm asking that we need to implement more realism, base game-wise, to all the cattle. And the fact that we have to rely on mods to get that is kind of silly at this point. The second thing that I really think that we really need to think about doing is, I get that we have to repair our vehicles. But about the mod, about the tires. But I think we need actual breakdowns in the middle of the field. It doesn't have to be like an 80% chance that every time I'm in a tractor that, it's just going to break down and the axle's going to fall off of it. But it happens. Or a rock's going to get stuck in your, and I know that's probably asking a lot, but I'm just saying more realism when it comes to the repair of your vehicles. I don't think that we just need a line that says it needs repair. And I realize that it does slow down. It's not as efficient and things of that nature. But like with the tire mod, your tires get worn and you have to replace your tires. Why isn't that part of the actual base game? Why is that not something that we need to be thinking about? I really think we need a little bit more realism when it comes to the vehicle and equipment aspect, and not just a repair line that I have to run it into a shop. Because that would actually, if you had breakdowns in the field, that would make the mods for the vehicles that you have, emergency repair vehicles, that would make them much more common and more realistic as well, because you're gonna have to go back and get it and bring it to the field. But what if we implemented this third idea of real financing, real hiring of people, instead of just hiring an AI guy? I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I really think that, like, you need to go into a separate screen, and I want to hire this guy that's just going to run maintenance. This guy is just going to plow fields or work fields. You don't have to say plow, but we can do field work today. Field work and things of that nature. There are several different ways that you could implement this whole financing situation, and I think we could do a much better job with the financing aspect of it, instead of just hiring AI all through the winter and all through the summer and never having to worry about it. Just like, you know, with the AI, you have it set to where they automatically refill everything, and they're just sucking the money right out of your account like it is right now on this video. And I think that's silly. I think that nothing should be paid until the job is done. That's more realistic than an ongoing thing. What is the ongoing price of this right now? He's just plowing a field. So, you know, and the money just continually dribbles away. It's not. I think the financing and the hiring of people in the game would be a huge thing for the game. And I don't think that you would necessarily have to, like, recreate a whole new version of the game, because they're not going to update Giant's software. I don't think they're going to go to a brand new engine for the next game. I don't see that happening. I think we need to stick with 25 and continue to add these updates. We've got some really nice downloadable content coming out very soon, but it's still not what people are looking for as far as realism goes. And I think the hiring of you know, your AI, we'll just call them AI, you know, hiring of your AI is going to be a huge thing, instead of just hiring it in the field and being done. I think we need to have some kind of aspect where I can pick and choose of how many people I want to hire for, like, the summer months. Let's say from, you know, well, we'll go back to spring. We'll say from March to November. How many people am I going to have on my farm? How many do I think I'm going to need? You know, oh, I got too many, let me fire one. Sorry, buddy, but you're out of a job. You know, things of that nature, instead of just hiring the AI. And I think it would go a long way with the realism of the game, especially when it comes to maintenance, instead of just running it into a shop and then you just click a button and it's repaired. Maybe to the point where the tractor's got to be in the shop. You got a maintenance guy in there, you got to get another tractor out to the field. I think that's a little bit more of what people are wanting to see. And I think it would be a great thing. I really do. And just like with the shops, I really don't know why it's still in this game you can't enter, you know, 95% of the places that you own. Why can't I walk into a grain company? Why can't I walk into a restaurant? I mean, there are a few out there, but 9 times out of 10, it's a modded map or a mod that someone made. Is it a big deal? Not really. But it is one of those little petty things that's just kind of like, why? Why is that such a big deal to have that implemented in the game? But all in all, I think the 3 biggest things, like I said, would be the maintenance on the vehicles. I think we need better maintenance. I'm not necessarily complaining the way we have it now. The way we have it now is fine, but if you want something that's more realistic, I think breakdowns in the field, like if right now, if a tire just went out and it comes up and tells you a message, hey, you got a bad tire. So now I'm going to have to go get a tow truck. I'm going to have to tow it back, or I'm going to have infield repair. I think that would be fantastic. I mean, I really do. And whether you have to call, like, especially if you're on multiplayer, can you imagine the role play on multiplayer if you're able to do that? That would bring whole new things to multiplayer and role play. It really would. So I think, and I don't think that's too much to ask for. The new downloadable content with the fishing is okay. I don't think it's anything that we're really looking at. And as far as crops go, I don't know what other crops you could have. I don't know why we still don't have prairie grass, or as far as like base game crops, why do we still not have lavender? Very popular crops that we still just don't get. So I'm really curious about that. You know, I'm not really worried about rye or any of those extra crops like that. But I firmly believe in those three things. But my question to you guys, to leave me a comment, well, what is it that you think needs to be either added to this game now, or what do we need in the next version? Personally, like I said, I don't think we need another version for at least 5 to 6 years. I think if we keep updating this one and adding to this one, especially if you just want to try to practice it. I mean, a lot of that was like course play is now, you know, pretty common on 25, where, you know, course play was pretty new thing back on 22. It may have been on 19, but it was, for me, it was new. But anyway, so that's what I think, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments about what we need added to this game that's going to make it better without having to create a whole new, you know, FS27 or 28 or whatever you want to call it. Let me know in the comments. But guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit that like and follow button. Help us out. And as always, until next time.